Wallabies squad, folks, for their Spring Tour 2022. We'll go through the squad. There's a few names in and a few guys either out injured or just kind of plain dropped. And, the fixtures themselves. It's looking like a pretty nasty tour, to be honest. I mean, Scotland away is tough at the best of times, although that game being outside the test window means Scotland will be without some of their big guns in all likelihood. So, still, tough game. And then France away. Ireland away, Wales away, and then a resurgent Italy side as well. I mean, that's still one the Wallabies should be targeted in to win for sure. But, tough looking tour. They've certainly made a few changes on the back of their recent Australia A-Sides tour of Japan. They won a couple of games over there and lost a really crazy high-scoring one. Unfortunately, they didn't have those games on here in NZ, so I haven't seen them. But the fallout of those games has certainly been the either recall or dropping of some of the main guys. I mean, the hooker situation is kind of all the same with the three regular guys there. Sam Talakai and Matt Gibbon plus Tom Robertson are in with the propping stocks. Tupou Alalatoa, Slipper kind of continue on as well, but obviously with Scotty Seo moving over to England, Pone Fa'au Masili being injured, Angus Bell being injured, they've kind of had to rotate things around a bit. So it's a tough one. It's hard for Dave to get any kind of real kind of consistency. He's brought in Will Skelton, which is going to be a bit of welcome news, I think, for Wallabies fans. But it's a weird one in that people who watch Will Skelton when he plays in Europe are always all over him. Why don't the Wallabies select Will Skelton? The guy's a proper unit, blah, blah, blah. But the last couple of times he's played for the Wallabies, he's kind of been a wee bit anonymous. So I don't think Aussie fans who don't watch the European games have been that fussed with him not being there. But, I mean, the guy is a massive human being. So if they can get him firing, then yeah, for sure, he's going to be a welcome addition to the squad. He's obviously not going to be available for the Scotland game either because he's he's not going to be available outside the test window. But his inclusion maybe coincides with Darcy Swain not being selected as well. Although, I mean, Darcy's not going to be available, I think, until the last three games. So, like, from Italy onwards. So, maybe they will name him later on because he's still suspended. So, not sure. But otherwise, the locking situation is still pretty similar. But Skelton is certainly the biggest bit of news. The Lucies, there is a bit of news in terms of Michael Hooper being back. That's a bit of welcome news, although not as captain. He's taken a wee break to get his head in the right spot, so good job on him for getting that done. If he feels happy to return, then power to him. So 121 tests with that guy, world-class player, still only 30 years old, really, really welcome guy to have back. And then Ned Hannigan. Apparently he played well over in Japan. I don't know. I've always been a bit of a critic of Ned Hannigan. I was always more of a Fergus Lee Warner fan myself, who never got called up for the Wallabies. But Ned Hannigan's back. He can cover lock, loose, forward. I know Jed Holloway's kind of covering that at the moment, but Ned's still only 27, which kind of surprises me. Harry Wilson is kind of the main name that, apart from Darcy Swain, is kind of conspicuous in his absence. I forgot to mention Lonnie Gleeson. He's in as well. Apparently he did really well over in Japan. So he is one of your uncapped guys, and I guess his inclusion directly relates to Harry Wilson's non-inclusion. So remember, Rob Leota is out injured still. But yeah, Harry Wilson just seems to be playing dropped. So McCright, Samu and Valtini are still there, kind of continuing on from Rugby Championship. But yeah, a little bit of changes in the old Lucies. Backs-wise, the halfbacks are all the same. The 10s are the same with the inclusion now of Ben Donaldson. So he's kind of one of your uncapped guys. So Tane Edmed misses out in that regard. But it's, I guess, kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other as to which guy you choose. They're probably going to be behind Lolosio and Foley anyway. The midfielders is still the same. Remember, there's still no Karevi. And then the outside backs, interestingly, Nawani Tawase has been included. Apparently, he's another one who did well over in Japan. Tom Banks, having had that long injury layoff and played a bit of time with Aussie A, he's back in. But another one conspicuous in his absence is Suliasi Vunivalu, the big rugby league convert. Dave pretty much just said he's not been playing as well as some of the other guys who've made it. So, yeah, it's is that a failed project at this point? Is he going to be looking for a trip back to league? Not sure. He's he's not kind of had that push that I guess like the All Blacks have been giving to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, but they're very kind of similar situations, aren't they? Kurtley Beale's another one who was maybe bandied about to get included, likewise James O'Connor, but neither of those kind of senior guys has been able to make their way back into the squad. But Tom Banks is one guy who is back, and then Nawani Tawase is genuinely uncapped. So, yeah, there's your Wallabies squad to travel to Europe. As I said, I think it's going to be a pretty tough tour. I mean, Ireland and France, literally the number 1 and 2 teams in the world at the moment, away from home. But yeah, we will see how things go. You guys let us know your thoughts. Where do you reckon the Wallabies are looking strong? Where do you reckon they're looking weak? As I said, without Karevi, the midfield always looks a little bit concerning, but I do think the likes of Ikitau and whatnot stepped up pretty well with his absence. So yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts. Are you going to start Will Skelton? I think he's got to get a start, doesn't he, if he gets a game? But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon.